Hey guys, this is Pip again. And what we want to do is start breaking down some of our power team members. And I told you a realtor is very important. And I even said earlier that realtors can sometimes be my best friend. And I really think they are in many ways. Well, what I want to do is let's talk about how do we get to know the realtor? How do we get them on our power team? In fact, what I'm going to call this is you're going to go on a first date with your realtor right now. Now, I don't mean that literally. What I mean is we want to get to know them like you would somebody on a first date. So when we start to get involved with our realtor, now I'm really making this sound weird, get involved with our realtor. And so with our realtor on the first date, what we want to do is we want to just start asking them some questions. And there's some very important questions we're going to get to. I think the first question, very basic question, is how long have you been a realtor? How long have you been a realtor? And I think that is a question where you might be surprised at the answer that I'm going to give you here. And I know some people think, well, I want a realtor that's been doing this a long time. Now, I'm not saying you don't want a realtor that's experienced. But what I'm going to share with you on this example is that sometimes when a realtor has a ton of experience, what do? They're very set in their ways. And when they're very set in their ways, they may not want to do things the way we want to do them. I always look at it this way. I'm the customer in any real estate transaction. And what is the rule? The golden rule is customer is always right. Maybe it's not the golden rule, but it's the rule I'm going to use today. Customer is always right. And so I want that realtor to be working for me. I want that realtor to be putting my needs first. And so how long have they been a realtor? I don't usually have a problem working with brand new realtors because they seem to be a little bit more hungry. And the nice part about it is I can kind of train them the way I want to train them. And that's really not a bad thing for me when it comes to working with a realtor. So how long have they been a realtor? My most important question that I'm going to really talk to a realtor about is seller financing. Now, we'll get more into what seller financing is. What does that mean? But if I'm talking to a realtor, one of the questions I'm going to ask them is, are you familiar with seller financing? Have you done seller financing deals? Have you helped buyers and sellers with seller financing deals? And what I'm going to do is I am really going to keep this simple. And I'm going to say that if my realtor doesn't agree with seller financing, doesn't understand seller financing, doesn't want to work with seller financing, then I'm probably going to eliminate that person as a potential realtor for me right then and there. If they don't understand it, but they're willing to learn it, then I'm definitely going to work my way with that realtor. The key is they've got to have an open mind, because if their mind is closed and their mindset says they're not going to do seller financing, then by all means, I don't want to work with them. This is a very important piece, and I think a lot of people miss it because they think, oh, you don't need to do seller financing. I'm all about doing seller financing. Like I said, we'll get more into that. But this is really my most important litmus test question is, will they work with me on seller financing? If they will, then by all means, this is a realtor I can probably work with. Another thing that I'm going to ask my realtor is, are they an investor themselves? And I could tell you all kinds of stories. With these quick 5 and 6 minute videos, it's really hard to get many stories in because most of my stories seem to be a lot longer than 5 or 6 minutes. But let me give you an example. I was working with a realtor and I asked him, he knew that I was an investor, and I was actually mentoring a couple of students at this point. So there was 3 of us in the realtor. And I asked the realtor if he was an investor. And the realtor said, well, I bought a duplex like 20 years ago, but I couldn't make any money with it, so I don't think investing in properties for me. Does that mean that realtor's bad? No, it means they don't know anything about investing. That's one of the things it means. So they may not be the best person for me, but I don't necessarily have to have a realtor who has a big property portfolio. I want a realtor that's going to help me find properties and work within the parameters that I give them. And so a realtor is going to be very important in that process for me. And what I really want to do is I want a realtor that's pretty much open-minded, that's going to work with me through that process so that I can help get more. They can help me get more properties. I'm going to talk more, and we're going to talk about our realtor's second date here on the next video. So I will see you guys on the next video, and I will see you guys on the path.